Bill Daley addresses reporters today for the first time since his announcement yesterday that he is dropping out of the governor's race.
As you know, I'm here to announce that I no longer will be a candidate for governor. I've lost sleep, to be frank with you, and struggling over the last number of weeks as to whether or not what's needed I can provide over a long period. Throughout my life, I've looked forward to serving as an elected official, but that isn't to be. As part of a family that has public service in its blood and a family in which I am extremely proud, I've always been motivated, as each of them, to serve.
He's had to face a lot of questions today after saying he was, quote unquote, 100% in this race to win. Just what, a month and a half later, not even, he's out of the race. He faced a lot of tough questions today.
For a lifelong Democrat who might be expected after pulling out to get behind the candidate.
As I've said, I don't put my credentials as a Democrat behind anybody's or my family's. We have been there for many Democrats, many of the people you're speaking of right now. So I don't put that. One of my maybe failings in life is I'm awfully honest to you people.
I think the most honest thing he said was that he didn't have the stomach for it, and I think that was probably true.
Your brother always liked to talk about candidates shouldn't run if they don't have the fire in the belly. To what extent, if any, does that apply here?
I think you probably could answer that. Yeah.
What kind of came off to a lot of us today was that I think having the Daley name in Chicago, Bill Daley and a lot of the Daleys had a lot of doors open up for them over the years. And I think there was a certain amount of entitlement that he thought there was going to be with this. He thought that the sea was going to part again. He thought he would go, downstate and people would run up to him, and that wasn't happening. People were saying, no, you have to come talk to us.
I know it's hard to believe, but it's not about inherent again in that question is that somehow I worried that I was going to lose and somehow the public wasn't catching on to my message. The truth is, this was very early in getting people to know me.
I think it was the politics. I mean, if you saw his reaction over the weekend, Pat Quinn said something fairly innocuous. I mean, he said, I'm running against a millionaire banker. And Daley flew off the handle.
I've made my opinion of Pat Quinn pretty clear over the last number of months. And I think you've just got to look at the record, and the voters will decide going forward his future.
People in the Quinn camp just sort of saying, wow, that was nothing. We didn't even have to do that much, and he got out. The other thing that I think was kind of amazing to reporters today was that Daley kept saying, I'm not getting out of this race because I fear losing. I don't fear losing, and I could handle the job. So it's like, well, then did you get out because you feared winning? I mean, that doesn't make sense either.
But until you get in this as a candidate, you don't understand the enormity of not only the campaign and how different it is. It's one thing to be, quite frankly, in the gallery, and it's another thing to be on the dance floor.
I think he saw that it was going to be an embarrassment. This person who he had been criticizing a lot, Pat Quinn, was going to beat him, and he wanted to get out before he got embarrassed even more, I think.